Hi everybody, this is Scott Sharp with Fretboard Toolbox, and most of the time chords are taught, it seems they're taught like leave this one open, leave this one open, go to the second fret, go to the third. That's a G major on a mandolin. Or you could go 7, 5, 2, 3. That's a G major, and then there's all these different positions, but folks don't often tell you why. So today we're going to see how to build common chords using my theory by hand method. So you got to be able to hold your hand like this, and you got to know how to make major scales. So if you're not sure how to do that, watch my building major scales theory by hand video. That's big idea 1. Today's big idea 3, so let's get started building chords by hand. Let's take a look and I'll show you how it works. Today we're going to use a theory by hand book, and then I'll show you how to apply it on the mandolin and ukulele. But we're going to go to big idea 3, which is building common chords. This is the layout of a keyboard. So when you hold your hand like this, the spacing tells you how far apart the notes are. So here's Do, a whole step is Re, a whole step is Mi, half step to Fa, whole step to Sol, a whole step to La, a whole step to T, and then a half step takes you back home to the root or the octave. So whole step, half, whole, half. Okay, and then today we're going to utilize the flat third note, 1, 2, 3, and flatten the third. And we're going to utilize a flat 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and flatten the 7. So you can see that down here on the theory by hand book. 1 whole step to 2, whole step to 3, half step to 4, whole step to 5, and then we'll jump across and be a whole step to 6, whole step to 7, and then a half step would take you back to the 8. And then since 3's up here, if I drop into this pocket, that's a flat third. So if this was a B note, this would be B flat. Because if I flatten a B note out, it becomes B flat. If I flatten A sharp out, it becomes A. If I flatten A, it becomes A flat. If I flatten G sharp, it becomes G, etc. So you got to know how to flatten these notes and flatten the 7, flatten the third. Notice they end up in that same pocket, and I'll show you why here. So the C major scale is C, whole step to D, whole step to E, half step to F, whole step to G, whole step to A, whole step to B, and then my flat 7 would be a B flat since 7's a B, and my flat third would be E flat since E is my third note. So why do I want to know that? Because if I can understand that major chords, come out of the first, third, and fifth note of a major scale, so C is the 1, D, E is the 3, F, G is the 5. Okay, so 1, 3, 5 is every major chord. So in the key of C, or a C major chord is going to be C's the 1, E's the 3, and G's the 5. So C major is always made out of the notes C, E, G. And then if I'd like to see how that applies, if I go to the mandolin book here, and I go to C major, C's my 1, E's my 3, and G's my 5. And notice I've got the 2 note here, so 1, whole step to 2, whole step to 3. See that flat third in there? It's bluesy, we'll look at that later. Half step to 4, whole step to 5, whole step to 6, whole step to 7, and then here's my B flat, my flat 7. And that's it. So C major is always made of the note C, E, G. And then if I can see where's my C's, E's, and G's all over a fretboard, I can leave this open because that's already C, E, or G. I can go 2nd fret on the E here, 3rd fret on the C, open on the E. So this is a C major, not because I told you put this finger here, this one here, and leave these open. It's because that's a way that I can play only C, E, and G notes. And if I flatten this out here, flatten my finger out, and bar it so I can get this G, that's still C major if I play G, E, C, G. If I play on the 5th fret here, C, G, E, C, that's C major. That's C, G, E, C. So any combination of C, E, G is a C major chord. And then if I want to see, like, what's a 7 chord? Like, what's a C7? You take the 1, 3, 5, and then you add a flat 7 to it. So in C, it's 1, 3, 5 is C, E, G. And then if I flatten the 7th note, it becomes B flat. So C7 is 1, 3, 5 flat 7. It's C, E, G with a B flat. So then if I look back here, C7, or dominant 7, is 1, 3, 5 with the flat 7, 1, 3, 5 with the flat 7, it's C, E, G, and adding a B flat note. So anywhere I can add a B flat here, like here's this two-fingered G, E, C, E. If I go to the B flat here, here's C major. That's a C7 because I added a B flat. If I play this two-fingered one and add this B flat here, I can get that C7 sound. So being able to see which notes make up the chords, being able to see what makes a 7 chord is pretty cool. And there's a bunch of different kinds of chords here that you can try out. If you ever hear of a power chord, it's just the 1 and 5 note. So in the key of C, C, D, E, F, G is my 5, C is my 1. So if I can find a way to play just C's and G's, then I'm playing a power chord. So if I play C, G right here and just bar these two, that's a power chord because I'm playing only C and G notes. If I play this, let's see, G, C, G, power chords, 5 chords or power chords, they don't have a real major or minor sound because the major or minor sound comes from the 3rd note. And if you look at a major chord, it's 1, 3, 5. If you look at a minor chord, it's 1 flat 3, 5. Okay, so C minor is going to be C is my 1. And then I'm going to flatten the 3rd, so that's E flat, and then I'm going to play the 5. So it's C, E flat, G. Okay, so C, E flat, G. Notice that on a C major and C minor, the C and G, or the 1 and 5 notes are in common. It's just am I playing the 3rd or the flat 3rd? So if I wanted to see how to turn one of these major chords into a minor chord, like G, E, C, E, I can play it with a major here, and then if I drop this to an E flat, make sure I don't play the E because that's not part of the C minor chord, then I'm playing C minor. So C major sounds happy, and just by taking this E and making it an E flat, now I'm making a C minor chord. It sounds sad. If I take this shape up here, C major is C, G, E, C. But if I take this E note and drop it to an E flat, it turns it to a minor chord. There's C major, there's C minor. So just by knowing those notes, I can figure out which notes to manipulate to make different chords. So a C major on the hand is C, D, E, F, G, so it's C, E, G. C minor is C, D, E, E flat, so it's 1, flat 3, 5. That's a minor chord. Okay, and then if you ever hear of power chords, a power chord, wait, I already talked about power chords. Suspended chords is what I was thinking. So suspended chords, 1, 2, 5 is a suspended 2, or 1, 4, 5 is a suspended 4. So instead of C, E, G, I'd play C, F, G for a suspended 4. Okay, and so you're playing the 1, the 4, and the 5. And let's see if I can play that on here. So out of this same shape, instead of G, E, C, I'll play that, and then I'm going to go put an F on here and make it into a suspended 4. So hear that suspended sound, and then a suspended 2 is 1, 2, 5. So it's C, D, E, F, G, C, D, G. Okay, so when I took this finger off, now I had C, D, and G playing. So it's like, this isn't the easiest lesson by far, but it's pretty cool. Once you can start seeing which notes make up the chords, then you can take a completely different instrument. Let's say I want to play a C major chord on the ukulele. I can see that C major is going to be made of the note C, E, G. I can come down here and see, okay, I can leave all these open and then put this one on here, and that looks like this. Okay, or I can play up here, because I'm just playing C's, E's, and G's. And then if I wanted to try to play like a suspended 4 chord, I can play these here, and I know that I switched the 3rd note to a 4th note, and that's like this. So being able to see the notes that make up chords, again, is huge. Knowing that minor chords are made of 1 flat 3 and 5. Okay, E, G, B is E minor. E major is E, G sharp, B. It's 1, 3, 5. So that's the only difference. So practice being able to know all these different keys and be able to see which notes make up these chords in the different keys, and then you can go to this page here and see, here's C major scale, G, D, A, E, and I can see which notes do I need to spell out some different chords, and look at a whole bunch of examples here and see how those chords are spelt. And then if you go to click on page 22, or if you have a print book, you go to page 22, there's a worksheet here where you can fill in those notes yourself. And learning to memorize the notes is absolutely worth it. Make sure that you, like when you know that a chord is G major, I want you to think G, B, D. And it takes a while to get there, but if you practice enough and you make it a conscientious effort, it'll make a big difference, because you'll start having to know how far the notes are from each other, and which notes make up the key, and whole steps and half steps, and then how do I play a 7 chord, or how do I make a suspended 4 chord, or you can look at more advanced chords later and start making some sense of them. Before I go, let me show you, if you want to pick up your own Theory by Hand book, go to the Fretboard Toolbox website and go to More, click on Theory by Hand. And then you can click Look Inside and download free pages from any of those books. All of the big ideas in those books have worksheets that go along with them, so those will be worth spending some time on. And if you want to pick up a toolbox, I've got identical versions for lots of different instruments here, so just click whatever instrument you'd like, and then you can click on Look Inside for the essential or complete books. If you're not sure the difference between those books, click here and compare those two books. I've got a video on that. So anyways, thanks again for stopping by, and happy picking to y'all.